You gotta talk.
Look, I gotta be filmed for a little longer, and then I'll come downstairs, okay, Band-Aid boy?
You're cleaning it up.
All right, I'll clean it up.
He won't clean it up.
I'll clean.
This is on camera. He will not clean it up.
I will clean it up. So 8 years ago, I started and ran my own roofing business. My dad having summers off, he did a lot of work around the house on his own. And one year we needed our roof done, so we had a family friend teach us how to do our own roof. Right after that, a next door neighbor asked if we could jump over and do their roof for him. And slowly that tumbleweeded into my dad, my brother and I doing 15 to 20 roofs every summer. And then my senior year of college, I saw the opportunity with the customer base we have built to start a real business, become licensed and insured, and I kicked up Stronghold Roofing. Definitely daunting. It was a lot of learning as I went, a lot of mistakes made. But eventually we got going quickly. We had jobs right out of the gate because of the customer base we built. We were busy and profitable from the get-go. So day-to-day routine was hectic. I would usually wake up around 5 a.m., get to the job site where I worked with a 2 to 3 man crew. You know, at that time I was on the roof still all day, every day. So I worked on the roof, you know, between 6 and 7 a.m. all the way until 2 or 3 p.m., at which point I would head out to potential customer homes and begin doing estimates. I would do estimates, try and close deals on site, and usually that would end around 6 o'clock p.m. I'd come home, and that was where I did all the bookkeeping. So all of the accounting work, all of my scheduling, material ordering in the evenings until usually 10, 11 p.m., and then I would start over again. And in the midst of that was always taking calls. Every call that I got was a potential customer, so I could never miss a call, whether it was at nights, whether it was trying to enjoy a hobby or be with the family. It was always jumping out to take calls.
Yeah, just prepare to not see your husband. I mean, they're on the clock morning to night. If it's crappy weather, they're on the clock. If it's good weather, they're on the clock. Like, it doesn't matter. They're working. I would get home and be excited to see him, and he would always be on phone calls or doing billing or estimates, whatever he was doing. So it was always a bummer. We would think we would have weekends together, and he would be at Home Depot or ABC Supply putting in new orders, and then fall would end and it was like, yay, busy season's done, and it would rain and he would get a call, you need to come check out my roof. Even when we were thinking, okay, we're in the clear, like it's off season, it was never really off season.
Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays were never real Saturday and Sundays.
Never.
For sure. I was stressed out most all the time. I felt like financial stress wasn't really there. We were pretty profitable from the get-go, but from like too much on my plate, I can't do it all. It just caused a lot of, I don't know, mental anxiety for me, to be honest. Just overworked, overstimulated. I was just exhausted all the time. So probably overtired, shorter tempered. It was
rough.
It just became clear that the way we were doing things was just not sustainable.
So it's a lot. It took a lot for us to be able to work through that and me to lower my expectations of Parker. And I knew he didn't have the bandwidth to run a company and be home. And it's also not a typical job. Like you're on a hot roof and you're
Dude, that was the other
working your
thing.
butt off. It's like, it's hard labor. So you would come home, and even if you didn't have a bid to write that day, you were so physically exhausted.
You would always want to go on a walk or like, let's go do this, let's go do this. And let's go on a hike. And I was like, the last thing I want to do is go outside right now.
Yeah, so, which is hard in the summer.
I had just approached a point of mega burnout. Like mentally, I wasn't really in a great spot anymore. I had a brother who approached me with a job opportunity in a completely different industry, more of an entry-level role. I took a big pay cut, but I ended up taking it because I wanted a work-life balance back. And that's what kind of led to closing the business. I remember being super bummed about it. I had poured everything into it, but just reached a point where it wasn't sustainable. I wasn't, happy doing it, and I wanted to be home more. So.
I mean, when he decided to end the company, there were a lot of mixed emotions, but in the end, I got a happier husband, which is all that mattered.
So in talking about the things that I knew I needed to do in order to create a more sustainable company, it wasn't that I didn't want to, but the biggest thing was I just didn't have time to do it. So I was so overwhelmed with all my tasks that I was handling, I couldn't give the mental energy or the time to do those things that would take the company to the next level. Whatever it was, I just didn't have the bandwidth or capacity to even address those problems because I was so stretched thin on just keeping the business running. So as I've closed down Stronghold Roofing and transitioned to new jobs, it's been 7-8 years since. And during that time, I've learned a lot about CRMs, specifically JobNimbus, and what it can do for roofing companies like mine. JobNimbus really is a tool to scale, and it does so by alleviating a lot of the pains that roofers and contractors feel. It saves them so much time, it automates things for them. And thinking back, a lot of that time that was spent doing so many of the manual tasks and things that just caused me so much stress and ate up all my time could have been done in such a simpler and quicker, faster way with a CRM like JobNimbus. So, one of the first things I think that JobNimbus could have helped me with is my estimate building process. My process with building out estimates was very long and often not accurate. I would show up to the homeowner's house and with a notepad in hand and a 100-foot tape measure with my phone as a calculator, I would take all the measurements, take all the notes, and then sit in my truck running a hotspot and build out the estimate. It was done on a Google Doc. It was very manual. It would often take me 30 to 40 minutes in the truck while the homeowner was waiting, and it just didn't look professional. Seeing how JobNimbus can make that so much quicker, so much more professional, so much prettier, it could have not only sped up the process, but definitely helped me close more deals, show that I was the professional that I felt like I was. I had been roofing for a decade. I knew what I was doing, but my processes often didn't show that professionalism that JobNimbus helps you show. I remember being on call 24/7. So whether I was on the roof, in my car, at home, out to dinner with my wife, when a call came in, I took it. It could be past customers having an issue, but mostly it was incoming opportunities for new jobs, and each job opportunity was extremely important to me. I never felt like I could miss it. With JobNimbus Assist AI, it will answer and take calls and schedule appointments for you. So what that means is no more missed leads. That could have given me so much time back and alleviated so much stress. So JobNimbus Assist AI could have really freed me up from the 24/7 grind, all automatically without me having to worry about it. My material ordering process was also pretty disorganized and all over the place. I would head over to Home Depot, where I had my pro rep there, and I would wait in line to see him, which would often be over an hour of waiting. I'd meet with the rep, and it would take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half to build that out with the rep. We'd place the order, and then that rep became the middleman communicating between the supplier and myself. With the supplier integration with JobNimbus, it is very quick, it is very easy, and all the pricing stays live. That was one pain that I often felt. Material prices would change very quickly all the time, and I had no way of knowing when or if they changed, causing inaccurate estimates and take up a ton of unnecessary time. My process for collecting invoices and payments was very manual and very time consuming. So I would often charge a deposit before I would go place a material order, and collecting those deposits and final invoices were usually done through check or cash. I would need to meet with the homeowner in person, and oftentimes it just became a hassle to coordinate with the homeowner after the job was done, a time to meet, a time to settle up. I'd then have to take all those checks or cash to the bank and deposit it. It was, again, very time consuming and often caused delays in me getting paid, which could create some cash flow issues. With JobNimbus payments, it was all in the app. It was simple, it was quick. I wouldn't have to track down the homeowner. I could get paid and see the money very quickly. So as we all know, roofs are very expensive and not everyone can pay cash for them up front. With Stronghold Roofing, I didn't have a process in place or the ability to offer financing. So that resulted in lost jobs for me pretty frequently. JobNimbus offers options for financing, allowing the customer to be able to pay for their roof over time while you get paid much faster.
If we had JobNimbus back when we were running our roofing company, I think it would have given back a lot of valuable time that we now can't have back.
As someone who had to close down their roofing company because I was way too overwhelmed, way too stressed, honestly, JobNimbus could have saved me. JobNimbus would have taken away such a headache, freed up so much time, and honestly been the tool for me to scale and continue to run the roofing business. If I had a tool like JobNimbus, I honestly would probably still be running Stronghold Roofing today. As a product marketing manager at JobNimbus, that is why I am talking to you. I know the pains that roofers feel, and I know that JobNimbus is the tool to help alleviate and take away those pains.